Hey, you guys. I am back for another episode of the Spiritual Awakening Chronicles. I join you guys a year older, wiser, and another year to create so many possibilities. Okay. And so this episode's topic is something that I have been reflecting, pondering, have been meditating a lot on. And I'm not even going to say just here recently, but throughout the years and on previous podcasts that I have hosted with guests, this has been a topic of discussion. And I would not say in super detail, but vaguely. Okay. Um, and so let's get into it. No matter what type of healer you are, a therapist, counselor, social worker, nurse, doctor, physician, psychologist, psychiatrist, Reiki practitioner, spiritual advisor, pastor, life coach, massage therapist, herbalist, energy worker, teacher, mentor, caregiver, or simply someone who pours into others, you've probably noticed something. The people who dedicate themselves to helping others often seem to carry some of the heaviest burden. Many spiritual traditions describe this as spiritual warfare or spiritual attack. Others may see it as a or compassion, fatigue, burnout, emotional exhaustion, or the natural weight of constantly carrying other people's pain. Whatever language you use, the experience can feel very real. When you spend your days bringing light into dark places, you may also become more aware of darkness. Sometimes it looks like unexplained discouragement. Sometimes it's self-doubt. Sometimes it's conflict appearing out of nowhere. Sometimes relationships begin to shift. Sometimes your finances feel under pressure. Sometimes your health demands more attention. Sometimes opportunities seem delayed just when you feel like you're making progress. Whether you're whether you interpret these moments spiritually or sorry, psychologically, they can leave you asking, what does it seem like the more I try to help? Why does it seem like the more I try to help others, the harder life becomes? One possibility is this. People who heal others often become so focused on everyone else's wounds that they neglect tending to their own. You cannot continuously pour from an empty vessel. Even the strongest healer needs rest. Even the wisest teacher needs guidance. Even the most compassionate heart deserves compassion. Healing is not a destination where you become untouchable. Healing is a lifelong practice. As healers, we're often expected to always have the answers, always remain calm, always be available, always be strong. But strength isn't pretending you, excuse me, you're never affected. Strength is recognizing when you need to pause. Strength is setting boundaries. Strength is praying, meditating, seeking therapy, asking for support, journaling, spending time in nature, or simply giving yourself permission to breathe. Healing others should never require abandoning yourself. The most effective healers understand that their own healing is ongoing. Your scars may become part of your wisdom. Excuse me. Your challenges may deepen your compassion. Your setbacks may teach you patience. And your survival may become someone else's hope. So if you're a healer listening today, I want to remind you of this. Protect your peace, guard your energy, honor your boundaries, continue learning, continue growing, continue healing, because the world needs healed healers, not perfect ones. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that the moment you decide to better yourself, everything seems to happen at once? You finally decide to go back to school. Your car breaks down. You finally decide to start that business. People begin doubting you. You finally decide to prioritize your mental health. Now everybody wants access to you. You begin praying more. Temptation suddenly seems stronger than ever. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. I'll let you decide. Now, before we go any further, let's clear something up. Being a healer doesn't mean you're perfect. It does mean you're spiritually superior. It does not mean you're always right. And I mean, it does not mean you're spiritually superior. It does not mean you're always right. And it definitely doesn't mean you don't need help yourself. Some of the greatest healers have sat in therapist offices. Some of the greatest pastors have struggled with depression. Some of the greatest doctors have become patients. Some of the greatest counselors have needed counseling. Some of the strongest mothers have cried themselves to sleep. Some of the people who smile the biggest are carrying battles you'll never see. Healing isn't about having all the answers. It's about having enough courage to continue showing up despite your own wounds. Now, here's another thing I've learned. Not everyone will celebrate your gift. Some people only like the version of you that keeps them comfortable. The moment you begin setting boundaries, you're called selfish. The moment you stop answering every phone call, you're acting funny. You're acting different. The moment you protect your peace, people accuse you of changing. Well, maybe you did change. Maybe you grew. Maybe you finally realized that saying no is a complete sentence. Maybe you stopped confusing access with love. Maybe you stopped confusing exhaustion with purpose. Because hear me when I say this. Being available to everyone doesn't make you a better healer. Sometimes it simply makes you unavailable for yourself, and that's dangerous. Whether you believe in spiritual warfare, negative energy, the evil eye, psychological stress, compassion fatigue, or simply the weight of carrying everybody else's problems, one thing remains true. You cannot continuously absorb everyone else's pain without intentionally releasing it. That's why self-care isn't selfish. Rest isn't laziness. Boundaries aren't disrespect. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is disconnect long enough to reconnect with yourself. Now, I want you to reflect on these questions. What has your role as a healer cost you? When was the last time someone asked how you were doing? Who heals the healer? And if you stop pouring into everyone else tomorrow, would anyone remember to pour into you? Take a moment with those questions. Sit with them. Journal about them. Pray about them. Meditate on them. Because sometimes the answers don't arrive immediately. Sometimes healing begins with asking ourselves the questions we've been avoiding. As always, I encourage you to do your own research. Trust your discernment and take what resonates with you while leaving room for perspectives different from your own. Now I want to talk about an angel number. Okay, you guys. Angel number 818. Now, if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you already know my approach. I encourage you to do your own research and decide what resonates with your own beliefs and experiences. In my spiritual traditions, in many spiritual traditions, angel number 818 is associated with new beginnings, personal power, abundance, and trusting yourself as one chapter comes to an end and another begins. For healers, I think there's another lesson hidden in that number. It reminds us that every season of giving should also include a season of receiving. Every season of pouring into others should include a season of pouring back into ourselves. You don't have to carry every burden. You don't have to answer every call. You don't have to rescue everyone. Sometimes your assignment isn't to save people. Sometimes your assignment is simply to plant the seed, offer guidance, and allow them to walk their own journey. 818 also reminds us that boundaries aren't barriers. They're protection. They're the fence around the garden you've worked so hard to grow. Without healthy boundaries, even the richest soil can become depleted. So if you've been seeing 818 repeatedly, repeatedly. My mouth is real dry, y'all. But anyway, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life do you need stronger boundaries? Where have you where have you been giving more than you've been receiving? What part of yourself has been asking for your attention while you've been focused on everyone else? Maybe this isn't just a reminder to keep healing others. Maybe it's a reminder that you deserve healing too. Thank you for spending this time with me on the Spiritual Awakening Chronicles. Until next time, continue protecting your peace, continue honoring your journey, continue healing while you help others heal. And remember, stay savage, never average. You guys, really quick, I'm sorry, I know I did close out, but my pumpkins are growing and I am so excited. And so my sunflower plant has bloomed as well. And I cannot remember the name of the other flower that I planted a while ago. And I just keep on seeing 4-leaf and 5-leaf clovers. So I'm just like, whatever. Something's growing. So yeah, you guys, that has been amazing for me. I have been playing music for them, my plants, and talking to them. And you know, it's a very relaxing type of hobby, I guess, of mine. And hopefully, you know, I talked about, growing my own herbs and making my own teas and stuff like that. So hopefully I can get to that level, after I get a whole lot of other things together. But I am super, super, super excited. And, yeah, again, I am 34. My birthday was 7:30, period pool. And I had a wonderful birthday and a wonderful weekend thus far. And I want to thank everyone that has been listening to my project, the Spiritual Awakening Chronicles. Every country, every state, every town, every city. Again, thank you so much. And so here's to another year to make great things happen. The Savage out.